Trickcal is usually a pretty casual and chill game, but there are some systems that clearly are way more important for progression and can break your account a little bit if you are not careful with your resources. And I want to talk a little bit today about one of those systems, which is going to be the Crayon boards. I want to be talking about specifically what nodes to avoid, how to properly progress on your Crayon boards, and the question that most people ask, when should you start taking these beautiful defense nodes, which I'm going to be taking one here. So, today's topic, Crayons boards. Hello the internet, welcome back to the Waifus. I'm Sefhi, your favorite gambling addict. I want to talk about this because there is a few things that have been updated since day one, obviously, and our guides need to be updated. But it's not that many changes. It's mostly clarification on the defensive nodes, in my opinion. That's what most people ask for. So a quick TLDR on how the Crayon boards work in case you're a new player, obviously. The normal nodes, the ones that are not glowing, are only for this character, for Elena. The glowing nodes are for all characters in the account. This one here, glowing. This one here, glowing. There are two types, as you can see, one rainbow and one that is just glowing a little bit. The ones that glow only a little bit are only flat stats, and they cost purple crayons rather than gold crayons. The rainbow ones are percentage stats, and they do cost gold crayons. The cost is incremental. Every character has 3 boards, right? You have the first board here, second board right here, and then you can go and open a third board if you wanted, which I'm gonna be doing for the video, which is a waste of gold, but whatever, so you guys can see it. But there is a third board that will have even more nodes, and the cost of all of the nodes is incremental. On the first board, a gold node will cost you 2 gold crayons. On the second one, it's going to cost you 4 gold crayons, and on the third one, if you wanted to take one here, as you can see, it's going to be costing you 6 gold crayons. This incremental cost not only applies to gold crayons, ultra pastels, but it also applies to every other one as well, every other rarity. So then it goes the questions of, okay, there is a lot of characters in Trickcal. How should I be prioritizing my boards, right? Like, how should I actually be unlocking this, and when should I be unlocking gateways for the next ones? What is the strategy? The simple strategy that every single player should follow, in my opinion, is to never open second or third gateways. New players, the only thing they need to worry about is to actually get all of the gold crayons, all of the gold nodes on your account, regardless of the character, because that is a lot of extra stats. If I start going one by one, you will see that I have literally, I think I have all of them, all of the gold nodes on the first boards. And that should be your priority for a new player. You should not be focusing on opening second boards. You should not be focusing on just going on one character all in, because it's a waste of resources. You can just get so many more stats if you are getting this from Bitwood, rather than just, trying to min-max your favorite character to get more nodes in there. Now, obviously, the more nodes you are taking, the stronger a character becomes, because they also get all of these flat stats, right, that they themselves get with the normal nodes. So there can be an exception if you have characters you really like to actually get all of the nodes on that board, right? But for the most part, you do not need to be picking all of them. The only exception, once again, is your main team on the meta characters. If your main team is, let's say, the press, there is no reason as to why you will be picking every single node that this cat has to offer, because there is just no reason. You will just be picking the glowing nodes, which are the important ones, and that's it, right? The same applies for a lot of these characters. The only ones that I can say, like, yeah, it's fine, pick everything, is going to be those meta-defining units that obviously are stronger, right? Like those characters that are going to be always stronger, it is fine to be picking them. But it's also really expensive. It gets really expensive. Now, that's out of the way. That is the basics on how this works. So every character has 3 different boards. All of them have different layouts and different nodes you can get. The problem arrives as to what is the priority and which nodes you should be picking up first, right? Because you have attack nodes that gives magical and physical damage. You have HP nodes, like this one right here. You have crit nodes, like this. And then you have 2 defensive nodes. You will have these ones for magical and physical defense, and you will have one for critical, here, this one. These critical resistant and critical damage resistant nodes. And all of these ones can appear on either flat or gold versions, right? The rainbow version or the normal version that is flat stats. And the priority still hasn't changed. Like if you go into the website, our priority has been the same since day one, and this is still applicable to this day. If you go to stat priority and stats to avoid, there is two stats we always say you can avoid, which is defensive stats, aka this defense right here and the crit resistances right here. On the Korean server, on later chapters, there are some enemies that are immune to this stat. Basically, they will skip this crit resistance, so it doesn't matter how much you pick, but these are still important for certain game modes. For example, if you talk about PvP, if you talk about Elias Frontier, if you talk about Dimensional Clash, all of these game modes, it's actually important to have these defensive nodes. That's why long term you want to be picking them. But the priority for most people early on is going to be first attack and HP. Those are the most important nodes, right? So you would start picking on the first boards only these attack nodes and the HP nodes. And then when you're done with those, you can start picking in between some crit and some defensive ones, but those take lower priority. And the lowest priority, in my opinion, is the crit resistant nodes. Those are mostly for wells and min-maxers, like I was saying, for all of those competitive game modes. On the Korean forums, people basically recommend getting a ratio of 2:1 when it comes to attack and HP. I've been changing that and basically taking 1:1, but obviously it depends how many gold crayons you get. The RNG to actually get gold crayons is huge, and this is where the biggest difference in combat power will come from people who have higher scores than you on the competitive game modes, is these gold crayons, because the big whales are starting to finish, you know, a lot of these second boards now, and they are moving into even some of the third boards depending on the characters, and that is where that big or huge increase in damage difference comes from, and the combat power as well. But that is basically a TLDR, right? You do not want to be opening your second boards until you are done with your first boards on every single character in your account, and then you can start moving into your meta characters on those second boards. And now I am poor because I opened also this third one on Elena. That's gonna be expensive. 500k gold! Yeah, no, Elena, you're not getting those notes anytime soon. I love you, but I don't love you that much. So, that is basically everything for this video. A shorter one today. Just wanted to go a little bit over how to properly unlock Crayon boards and the priority for the stats. Which, for most casual players, attack and HP is the only thing that matters. And then the moment you start getting into pushing Habanero and Poblano difficulties, and you get into PvP and the competitive game modes, you want to be also getting, obviously, all of those defensive extra stats you can. That's it. That's everything for this video. As usual, we are live every single day. Any questions you guys have about the Crayon system itself and the boards, do let me know in the comments down below. Also, tomorrow I'll be making a video on the store, updated store guide, to also cover the Frontier one, since I already said this, but this is a limited currency. We are not going to be getting this every single season. That said, links in the description for everything you guys need. Good luck with your pool, the internets, and I'll see you in the next one.